That is a horrible puzzle, though. Really badly done. Really badly made puzzle, that. Alright, 90, we're going to 12. And if 12 says came from 90, then we've got it right. Yeah, trapdoor from 90. A trapdoor. You walk to the river end of the machine, where the engine draws up water from beneath the checker plate floor. There's a trapdoor beneath your feet. It's not a secret trapdoor. If there are any of those in the pumping station, you've yet to discover them, but offers access for the engine crew to get below the engine. Lift the trapdoor, turn to 10. A man bound in iron. The trapdoor in the checker plate flooring reveals a metal ladder running down to the suction well of the Bolton and Watt engine room. That's where the water is offered up to the mighty engine, the water that is being pumped out and away into London. It's as cold as the river that feeds it, but darker amongst the foundations of the engine house. But as you peer in and your eyes accustomed to the gloom, an upturned face swims into view, looking back at you. A face framed by spectacular greying mutton chop sideburns. Its owner calls out to you, but his voice is hard to make out over the echoes of the sloshing water. Watson slides down the ladder first, and you follow, stepping out onto the concrete walkway around the open pool. As you hurry around to the opposite side, the true horror of the scene is revealed. The mutton-chopped man is bound from chest to toe in heavy industrial chains, swathing him completely in iron. His outstretched arms are chained to the thick pipes, but at what angle? Is he chained like this, or is he chained like this, or is he chained with one hand behind his back? Is he chained with his legs akimbo? What letter is he chained in? His outstretched arms are chained to the thick pipes that run along the walls, so that he appears the victim of some infernal medieval torture. "Good heavens, man!" cries Watson to the poor fellow. "How did you come to be like this? And who are you, sir?" You concentrate in order to hear his reply of the rhythmic noise of the pump and the water. For a man chained to a wall in the suction well of a pumping station, he's remarkably composed. "Sidney Robert Smith!" he shouts politely over the fireworks. I mean, the watery racket. The fireworky racket. "I'm governor of Newgate Jail. I'd offer you a hand, gentlemen, but as you can see, I am a bit compromised." And he tries to raise an arm, even a little, but is so thoroughly run around with heavy chains that he cannot move at all. "I'm Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective." He almost smiles. "Indeed! I was told you'd be along. Pleased to meet you, sir." And this is Dr. John Watson, who will release you. Watson? Talk to the governor. Turn to 76. A precise time. You ask the governor how he came to be chained to the wall above the suction pool, while Watson investigates the chains that are wound about his arms, legs, and body. "I'd finished my office around 6 this evening," replies Smith, "and returned to my house for dinner. Just as I was sitting down at the table to eat, 2 ruffians came out of nowhere to apprehend me." You interrupt brusquely. "What time was that, Mr. Smith?" "Well, I suppose... Oh, you mean the precise time?" "Precise is always best, and you are precise in your habits, are you not?" "I am, sir. It would have been 7:03 p.m. Where did I put my pencil? Did I drop it somewhere? It seems like a me thing to do. There it is. 7:03 p.m. We're going back to the notebook. I'm going to deface this book. How barbaric of me. We have 7:03 p.m. and we were told to only use 12-hour time. That is precise. Imagine if you precisely knew the exact minute at which you sat down to have dinner, for no other reason than you just are a very precise man in your habits. The governor resumes his tale. "I was sitting down to eat, as I said, and they suddenly appeared, with arms drawn and a sack to put over my head. They carried me here and chained me to the wall. The last thing they said before shutting the trapdoor and leaving me in the dark here was, 'Mr. Sherlock Holmes will be along to find you if he is clever enough.'" He pauses, but you say nothing, so he goes on. "Well, it seems they were right. You were clever enough. Thank you." As you take out the letter you were sent to show the governor, you suddenly realize that there is another number hidden in the coded note. You check all the letters on pink paper. That is, like, I don't know if that's a me thing, but that is the most obvious one, right? Like, as soon as I was sent this message at the start of the entire book, the most obvious thing that jumps out is that some of the letters are on different coloured paper. And so the very first thing I've written is that those coloured pieces of paper spell 39. So, like, for it to finally get to that, all the way this deep into the book, feels weird. 39. Turn to that number. The Governor. Watson has been very busy trying to loosen the chains that bind the governor. He turns to you and shakes his head.
"There are multiple padlocks," he says, "and many chains. I fear we cannot cut them off. Some are too thick even if we could find the right tools. And on top of all that, we'd have to do it carefully because we cannot have Mr. Smith fall into the pool while he's still encased. He'll be sure to drown."
The governor, Mr. Smith, nods frantically in agreement of the latter point.
"Mr. Smith," you ask, "was there anything you were supposed to be doing tonight? Was there a meeting you were supposed to be attending, or a pressing duty at the jail?"
"No, sir," he replies. "The only thing I was supposed to be doing tonight was sleeping."
"Very well. I think that must mean that someone wanted to make sure I was not somewhere else. And given that you are here, and knowing the mind of the man behind all this—" Professor Moriarty," adds Watson by way of explanation to the governor. "That place would be Newgate Jail. I need to get out, and quickly. Sorry, Mr. Smith. Sorry, we can't free you, but we have to get out. We can get out and arrange to have you rescued afterwards. Come along, Doctor."
Climb up the ladder, turn to 93. Just leave the guy behind. Not much else we can do, I suppose. I'm sure he'll be more than okay. Yeah. Just leaving him there. They are indeed. Yep. Exasperation. You leave the trapdoor open so the governor at least has some light. Dr. Watson has found the governor's pewter hip flask in the captive's pocket and administers a courage-inspiring draught to the poor man before following up the ladder. There's no way out of the Bolton and Watt engine room except back through the office, so you return there.
"Watson, we need to get out of here quickly." "Well, yes," replies the doctor, and you can't help but notice a tone of exasperation in your loyal companion's voice as you sit back down at the desk. Was that an involuntary roll of the eye you detected? "I need to find the time to which we set the clock hands on the contraption on the booby-trapped door. When that's disarmed, we can leave." "What about that giant fellow with the shovel in the boiler house?" "I think he's not a problem we need to solve," you reply. "If he was trying to kill us, he would have done better than just look amused at our finding the way out as booby-trapped. No, my dear doctor, we are being contained, not killed. I intend to escape."
Look at more documents from the safe. Turn to 43. Why would there be more documents? We just spent ages in this office smoking a pipe and looking at everything that we had before moving into the washer room, and now the boiler room, and now you're saying that there's more? Silliness. I wish chat could leave all NPCs behind that easily. It's basically just a weighted blanket. It'll be fine. Yeah, he's just strapped in a very uncomfortable metal weighted blanket in an upright position for many, many hours. Inventory. You thumb through more items from the bundle of documents you found in the safe. One is an inventory and incident report from the foreman. It describes some tomfoolery by a drunken apprentice involving 4 small bins at the start of the incident contained respectively. Stock. Hooks 5, long bolts 10, wide bolts 8, washers 100. The apprentice repositioned single items from each bin to every one of the others That is, he took 3 wide bolts from the wide bolt bin and put one into each of the other bins. He did the same with the long bolts, the hooks, and the washers, and then he set about demonstrating with balancers that each of the bin's contents now weighed exactly the same. This interesting discovery, however, failed to amuse the foreman, who insisted that all the parts be returned to their correct bins. The apprentice was subsequently sent to his lodgings with a thick ear, a shilling docked from his wages, and the instruction to sleep off his need to tamper with pumping station inventory. By the time you've finished reading it, you've concluded that this episode has no bearing on the current predicament, but you can't help realise, as perhaps the apprentice had realised too, that you can accurately calculate the relative weights of all of the parts in this inebriated display. Such is the curse of having the mind of the world's finest consulting detective, you process all the information you consume, all of the time. How heavy is a hook? Jeez Louise. I understand this. Maybe this is why I mentioned in the last one that like Sherlock Holmes is one of my dream roles. Like I feel a deep affinity for Sherlock in that it's like I know that this is nothing to do with what I'm meant to be doing right now, but I can't help but recognise that it's a puzzle that I want to solve. Alright, so we have hooks. So actually we'll just do this as algebra, nice and easy. So 2h plus 1l, 2h plus l plus w plus, fucking widen, we'll go b, plus b for bolt, is equal to 7l plus h plus w plus b, which is equal to 5b plus h plus w plus l, which is equal to 97w plus h plus l plus b. That, my friends, in algebra is known as a simultaneous equation, and it has four equations and 4 unknowns, which means there is exactly one solution. Without one of those, you had more unknowns than you have equations, which means that there is infinite solutions. If you had another equation on the end, but no more unknowns, then you would have more equations than unknowns, and therefore either one of those is a superfluous situation that basically tells you the exact same information as one of the others, or it is an impossible solution, and there's no solution to it. So, I guess we solve the simultaneous equation. We do so by rearranging 4 terms of, let's go with b first. So that first one is rearranged to be, not to be. There's 2. You can do it by substitution, or you can do it by the other one, elimination. Let's do it by, I think we'll do it by substitution. I'll do it here, that I'll set these 2 first ones equal to each other. 7l plus h plus w plus b. We've got a w and a b on both sides, so we can cancel that out, and we can simplify this equation down to, we'll go 2h plus l is equal to 7l. Actually, I can get rid of this as well. 7l plus h. There you go. So without the b and the w, we don't need them. So we've got the 2h plus l is equal to 7l plus h. We can subtract an h from both sides, and we get that h, and we can subtract an l from both sides. We've got that h is equal to 6l. H is equal to 6L is one of these. We don't know how heavy H or L is, but we do know that we are asked how heavy is a hook, so we've got things in terms of H, and we've got that 1H is equal to 6L, which is 1H is 6 long bolts, so we've already got our answer. But that's not good enough for me. H is equal to 6L, so now we can do substitution where we have an answer for H in terms of L, so we go back to our original and we can put, wherever we see H, we can add in 6L instead. So we can change this H for 6L. We can add in this H for 6L. We can add in this H for 6L. And then we've got 7L and 6L, so this actually is simplified to 13L. And we can get rid of the rest. We've got an L here and an L here, so these both become 7L, and we get rid of this L and this L. Alright, so now we've got this equation and this equation. We'll put them equal to each other. So we've got that 13L plus W plus B is equal to 5B, that's meant to be a 5. 5B plus 7L plus W. 5B plus 7L plus W. And then we can simplify. Subtract a W from both sides. Subtract a B from both sides. Subtract 7L from both sides, I guess. So we're left with what? 6L. Subtract B. Subtract B. 6L. Get rid of the W, get rid of the B, so it is equal to 4B. (6L) is equal to 4B. Yes. So then let's get in terms of, let's get rid of L next. So divide both sides by 6, and we're left with that L is equal to 4/6 B, or 2/3 B. L is equal to 2/3 B. So now we substitute that back in for everywhere we see an L. We now put in 2/3 B. We've got 5B plus 7L. 7 times 2/3 is 14/3. So we've got 14/3 B. So this becomes 5B plus 14/3 B. 14/3 B plus W. And then we've got 97W plus, and then an L becomes 2/3 B, 7 becomes 14/3 B, so 14/3 B, 14/3 B plus B. 1B is 3/3, so we can make that 14/3 into 17/3, and get rid of that B. 5B is 15/3, 15/3 and 14/3 is 29/3, so that is equal to, I'll rewrite it now, 29/3 B plus W, and then that bottom one is 97W plus 17/3 B. And then you set those equal to each other and subtract. Subtract a W from both sides, you're left with 96W is equal to, on the other sides we've got 29 minus 17 is 12, 12/3 is 4, 4B. 96W is 4B, thankfully 4 goes into both, so divide by 4, and we're left with B is equal to 24. B is equal to 24W. Boom. And now we've got all of them in terms of everything else. So H is equal to 6L, but L is equal to 2/3 B, so H is equal to 6L. It's also 2/3 B, which is 2/3 times 6 is 12/3, which is 4, 4B, sorry. And then B is equal to 24W, but B is also this. So B is this, so 24W. 24 times 2 is 48. 48 divided by 3 is 48 divided by 3 is 16. Yeah, 16. 16. So L is equal to 16W. L is equal to 16W times it by 6, and L is equal to 16 times 6. 16 times 6 is 96. So H is equal to 96W. So now we have the weight of a hook. It asked us, how heavy is a hook? And I can tell you, a hook is the exact weight of 6 long bolts, 4 wide bolts, or 96 washers. Yay. I actually understood you explaining it like that. Take that, Dr. Bowman, my previously very exasperated math teacher. I think simultaneous equations was the lesson I was in charge of teaching my Algebra 2 class that one time. I think we've lost him, folks. Sherlock Holmesing. I couldn't stop there. The books that look. Such is the curse of having a mind of the world's finest consulting detective. You process all the information you consume all the time. So I had to finish. If I were tired, this maths rambling would easily put me to sleep. Well, there you go then. We can turn it into a Robert Reads a bedtime story. Cool. As heavy as 6 long bolts. But as per usual, I want to see what happens if you get it wrong first, which is turn to 75. 75. 2 books. You push the inventory report aside and look for more interesting diversions. In a drawer in the desk, there are 2 books. One is the foreman's diary containing excruciating deal of the hours he has worked over the last several months. The other is a logbook containing hundreds of recorded water levels from the filtering beds through which the London pumping station's water has passed. Ooh, interesting. So you just move on and you can read the foreman's diary, 34, or analyse the logbook, 41. But we got it right, which is 10 to 58 instead. A red notebook. You rifle through the documents and notice a red notebook. Every one of its pages has a page number printed on it, but due to an error at the publishers, every 4th number was skipped in the series. So, the pages are numbered 1, 2, 3, 5, 7... No, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15... There's a drinking game like that, isn't there? What is it called? Shit or something, where you can't say a number that has a 7 in it or a multiple of 7. And if you do, you drink or something. And it's like everybody says a number in a circle and you've got to say the next number in the sequence. And you got to skip those numbers, or you got to say shit instead of the number or something. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shit, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, shit, 15, 16, shit, 18, 19, 20, shit, and so on. Something like that. A red notebook. You turn to the 12th page. It has the number 15 printed there. There are 32 pages in the book. What number's printed on the last page? Okay. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for every value of so every 4 pages we add another number on. So how many multiples of 4 go into 32? Am I doing that right? Is that the right way to look at this? Yeah, I think that's right. So every 4 pages we add on 1. This is the 4th page. We take that number but plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. We take what it should be, add an extra 1 because it's the second the second number of 4. So by 32, we've got 8 multiples of 4. So we've added on 8 pages, and the 8 pages extra would take 32 to saying 40. But every 4th number was skipped. So can you get multiples of 4 in it? You can't say it wouldn't print 40. It would print 41. It should print 40, but it's also going to double up now because 40 isn't a multiple of 4 itself, and it's not ever printing out the multiples of 40. So actually it should also be 32, because it wouldn't print the page on... This is interesting. If on page 16, so the 12th page is the third multiple of 4, and so it's added on an extra 3 pages. By the 4th multiple of 4, by page 16, it will say 12 will say 15. 13 says 17. 14 says 18. 15 says 19, and then 16, which should say 20, will say 21. So even though 16 is the 4th multiple of 4, you now add on 5, because it's multiples of 4 twice over. So how many multiples of 4? You've got your 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. There are 32 pages, but on the 4th page it says 5. On the 8th page it would say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 10. On the 12th page it says 15, but then on the 16th page it should say 20, but 20 is a multiple of 4, so it says 21. And then we continue adding 5 each time, because we're adding 4 pages but skipping one, so we're adding 5. 5 onto that would be 26. 5 onto that would be 29. 5 onto that would be 30, 34. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. This should be adding 6, because you start at 0 and you add 5, add 5, add 5, add 6, add 5, add 5, add 5, add 6. Adding 6 should take you to 40, but it doesn't. It takes you to 41. Okay. I'm gonna. It should be. I think it should be 41. But I'm going to. I'm gonna list them all and double check. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That's how many pages there actually are, but they are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, yeah, 14, 15, I'm still right so far, 12 is 15, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, 37, 38, 39, and then would be 40s, 41, and then 42. So it's 42, it's out by 2 by this point. It's out by 10 digits. 10 digits because it's the 8 that would come from... It's out by 10 because it's the 8 that would come from what we said originally, which was how many times does 4 go into 32? But then there's a further 2 from the fact that the number of times it goes into 32 is also 4 goes into that twice. That's fun. I like that. That's a fun pattern. Because it's like you're looking at your numbers on your number line, and you're saying like there's a pattern between them. There's like you're noticing a pattern, but then you're on a second level up. You're adding a different number. So you're adding on the numbers of these, and then also the numbers of these, the numbers of times that it goes. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Pen and paper. So my question is then, why did I get this part wrong? $20.26, did I get that right? 20 should be 26, I got that right, so there. 24 should be 29. 24 should be 31. Did I... Oh, it was just a simple maths thing. For some reason I got 26 plus 5 and I got 29. That's what I did wrong there. That should have been 31. This one would have given me 36, but 36 should have given me 37. Because it should be 36, but then you give me a 37 because of it. And then we go back down to here for adding on 5. 37 takes me to 42. Add on 5. $28.37. No, 28's... Yeah, 28's 37. So that's right. 37 to 45. So 5, 10, 50. So add 5, add 5, add 5, add 6. Add 5, add 5, add 6. Add 5. Maybe the pattern of 5s to 6s disappears. So 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, yeah. That would be 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 52 would not, so 53. So then the next one up from here would be every fourth one. 5, 10, 15, 21, 26, 31, 37, 42, 47. So that is an add-on 5. And then from there it's add-on 6 again. So why is the pattern broken here? So we go add 5, add 5, add 6, add 5, add 5, and then to there is add 6, and then add 5, add 5, add 6. So this initial one is the one that's kind of add 5, add 5, add 6. Or is it, I'm going from 0 to 5, I'm saying that it's, so that this one, if you were to go backwards, it is add 5, add 5, add 6, is the pattern, it seems. If you were to go backwards from there, then this one would be add 6. So the pattern wasn't holding because I was going from 0 to 5. By adding, I was considering that an add 5. It was starting from an add 6, so we're starting from negative 1. Oh, because 0 is a multiple of 4. And so it would be negative 1. Yeah, so the previous one would be labelled negative 1. And so it is an add 6. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, gotcha. I'm with it. I'm understanding. So we've got add 6, add 5, add 5, add 6, add 5, add 5, add 6, add 5, add 5. That's the pattern. Got it. That was necessary for the puzzle in the book, definitely. That was what we needed to know. What was the answer? What was the question? What number is printed on the last page? 42. It's an even number turned to 88, but of course we got to see what happens if we got it wrong. 106. A curious mark. As you flicked through the notebook you had previously thought empty, you spot a splash of red ink. Turn back a few pages. Discombobulate. Turn to the last page of the red notebook. Ooh, so it's giving you a little semaphore and a message. But it's not that, it's an even number. Turn to page 88. I do like that the wrong answers don't always end in dead ends. This game I played once with a number system that was used base 4. It was heckin' hard to get my mind into. Base 5 system was much easier. Yeah. It was base 25 system, but they never used anything past 20, so it made no difference. What was the result? I missed it due to 5 ads in a row. 5 ads? God damn. The answer was that it was an even number because it was... we would end on page 42. If you can see that. Tiny little scribblings. We'd end on 42 by 32. Every four pages we've raised by 5 pages, except for every 12 pages we've raised by an extra page. So by yeah, I worked it all out. Off to work. See you later, Ian. Alright, where was I? 88 is where I wanted me to turn. 88. A slow clock. You are distracted from your investigation by the page numbers. Your investigation of the page numbers by Watson snapping his pocket watch shut. The look on his face suggests he's just used it to make a discovery. The importance of that discovery remains to be seen and presumably depends on you.
The clock here is running 10 minutes slow, Watson declares.
You don't doubt your companion's observation, but your habit is always to instinctively check such assertions, so you pull out your own watch and flip it open. It is indeed, as the doctor has claimed. The carriage clock you noticed when you first came into the office is showing a time that is precisely wrong by 10 minutes. Ooh. The time on the clock when we came in said 11:41. So it is in fact 11:31 that we need. The carriage clock was this one. It was 11:40. I'm pretty sure it was the 11:41 was the first time that we wrote down. So we can change 11:41 to 11:31. Wait, no. It is 10 minutes slow. So it should be 11:51. Is the guy at dinner at 7:13 instead? Well, no, because he wasn't using the carriage clock in the office to have dinner. Was he? I don't think so, right? No, he wasn't. He wasn't the one in this office. No, he was over in the jail in a different place. Look at the last page of the red notebook. Turn to 64. When I'm 64. Names in a grid. Oh, we've got a word search. Look. There you go. Look, you can start looking at this word search while I'm reading the rest of this book. And give you a word search. Bing. Hello. The last page of the notebook has a grid of letters on it. You quickly spot names in the grid that are spelled out in straight lines, forwards, backwards, down or up, even diagonally, but always in straight lines, no bending. Nagging away at everything you see in your current imprisoned state, and perhaps even outside of it, is the invisible hand of your adversary, the Napoleon of crime, the spider at the centre of the underworld web. Is the name Moriarty concealed in this grid? Yes, Moriarty is in the grid, or no, Moriarty is not in the grid. And then we have notes of names, if we wanted to write down the names that we see. How I like to do word searches, I don't know if you're the same, is to go along the top until I see the first letter of it, go around all of the 8 letters around that letter, and see if any of them is the second letter, M-O, and then yes but no, because it goes M-O-L, nope, so continue on. Mrs. Hudson. M-O, nope, M-O-A, so then I go back along, M-O-R, Maury, nope, M, nope, M-O, nope. Lestrade I just saw. Maury, nope. Nope. M-O, nope. Ma, nope. More, nope. M-O, nope. Maury, nope. There's lots of Molly, Morrow. Nope. Moo. Wilhelm. Wilhelm scream. Mr. Wilhelm. M-O, nope. Nope. Jones. Mrs. Warren. Baker. I did not see Moriarty. Does anybody see Moriarty? Sometimes starting vertically just for the fun of it. Went through the whole thing, didn't see Moriarty. Anybody else see Moriarty and I might have missed it? Gotta go, put cricket to bed, hopefully back in a bit. Damn it, I can do word searches. It's too hard to see it on mobile. Fair enough. I do that method when my see what jumps out at me is dried up. Yeah, that's fair. I see a lot of names, but not Moriarty. No, I don't think Moriarty is in the grid. It also thematically wouldn't make sense for Moriarty to put his own name in a word search, would he? He wouldn't put any sort of evidence of him being there or being implicated in any way. No, Moriarty is not in the grid, 10 to 74, or yes, he is, 10 to 33. I'm just going to just peek at 33, see what it would say. 33, Moriarty's influence. Wow, there's a lot of things that you can do that. I'm not going to read it all. No, Moriarty's not in the grid, 74. 74. The Clockmaker's Conundrum. You push the notepad away and look over the carriage clock. There's a piece of folded paper tucked under the base. When you point that out, Watson brings it to you at the desk. You unfold the paper, flatten it out, and read the printed text. It's a puzzle about a time. Start at 10:30. Find the next time the hour hand and the minute hand are in exactly a straight line pointing away from each other. 2 hours before that. Okay. You start at 10:30. So 10 there, 30 there. Find the next time that the hour hand and the minute hand are in exactly a straight line. So obviously it will be at some point 10. The minute hand goes one full revolution every hour, and so at some point during that revolution it has to be there's a mathematical principle for that that's what's it called? Continuous something theory. I don't remember. But you can mathematically prove that obviously it is going to be directly opposite it at some point in the next hour. So it has to be between 10:30 and 11:30. Between 10:30 and 11:30, it's going to be after it's gone all the way past 11 o'clock. And then it's going to be somewhere down when it's opposite 11 o'clock. So when 11 is up here, the minute hand is down by 25 past, but by 25 past 11, the hour hand has moved on just a little bit, and so it's not exactly a straight line. By the 30, it's directly opposite. That would be the 12, and so it's before that. So it's between 25 and 30. 11:25 and 11:30, it's somewhere between in that region. So each tick between 11 and 12 is divided into 5. A fifth of an hour is 12 minutes. So by 25 minutes past, it's gone 2 ticks and just a little bit more. And so 2 ticks on the minute hand as well would be another 2 minutes. And that wouldn't be quite enough, because now we're at 27 minutes past. And it would be by 28 minutes past. By 28 minutes past, that should be 2 ticks and a third of a tick for the hour hand. So it'd be 2 ticks and a third of a tick, but 3 ticks here. So it's between 27 and 28. So 11:27 and a half. Round the time down to hours and minutes. Don't worry about seconds. So 11:27. So 11:27 is when they're exactly a straight line pointing away from each other. 2 hours before that is 9:27. When you solve the puzzle, go to 89. So 9:27. I guess I'm writing that down as another time in my diary. 09:27 from page 74. Okay, go to page 89. 89. I'm getting hungry. 89. A plan of the pumping station. As you finish noting your answer in your pocket notebook, Watson makes the announcement.
There's something on the back of the Queen.
It seems an odd and intimate thing to mention, but then you realise he means the back of the portrait of the Queen, You lifted it off the wall to access the safe, but hadn't looked at the painting itself. Watson passes it over to you, and you lay it out, face down, no respect intended to Her Majesty, and look at what appears to be a floor plan.
It's a plan of the pumping station,
says Watson. Indeed it is, and it shows something neither of you knew before. There's a coal tunnel that runs from the yard, which the booby-trapped door opens onto, under the fence and the gates and out to the river. That might be very helpful, you say.
I think it's time we left.
Turn to 31. Coal yard, coal store, boiler house, coal tunnel. The Bolton and Watson, the Maudsley office. So we're in the office. We went into this one for all of that shit. Went into this one for all that shit. This is where the guy is like attacking us. I guess we came in through this door. This is the street. We came in through this door. Walked across into that. I don't remember this situation. Don't know what this is. Boiler house. So we've got to go through the coal store. Coal tunnel that runs from the yard, which the booby trap door opens onto. Okay, yeah. So the booby trap door is one of these two doors that open, or one of these doors, I guess, that opens out here, and then there's a tunnel that runs from outside that yard. Okay. I think it's time we left. Turn to 31. Booby trapped. Booby. You stand up and make a declaration.
Watson, I think we need to try that booby-trapped door.
Watson looks at you uncertainly.
Do you know what time to set the clock hands to in order to disarm it?
He asks.
My dear doctor, you reply, I have set my mind to it. That surely is enough for us both to be confident about escaping alive. Good to hear it.
He is a loyal fellow, after all.
Although, I'd appreciate you keeping an eye on that mountain of a stoker while I'm about it.
You leave the office by the door that leads into the boiler house. Go back into the boiler house, turn to 87. Brrr, here we go, we're about to explode. A cleft heel. As you make your way across the boiler house again, you see that the stoker is working the firebox of another boiler. He's been moving around, and you see the footprints he's left in the coal dust. You pause to look at them carefully. He's got a cleft in the left boot's heel and a hole in the sole, which leaves a distinctive mark. As you stand studying the prints, you notice the sound of shoveling has stopped. You stand upright and see the stoker is also standing erect, staring at you silently. He's some distance away, but somehow that doesn't make him any less intimidating. You hurry on toward the door, and it's booby-trapped contraption. Booby. We've got a couple of footprints now. I don't know what the point of them is, but we've got a couple of footprints. Turn to 66. 66. A sequence of times. Got a meeting now. We'll see you all later. No worries, Maida. Thank you very much. Later, Maida. A sequence of times. You are back before the door that, were it to open, would let you out of the boiler house and out into the grounds of the pumping station, and thereby, presumably, freedom. Watson stands before you, and once again the two of you look at the wires, flasks, and mechanisms of the booby trap that stands between you and escape. There's a clock face on it, with hands that you can reposition. You've concluded that you just need to set those hands to a specific time to disarm the trap and allow you to harmlessly open the door.
Do you know what time to set it to?
Asks Watson in a manner that is as predictable as it is infuriating. Of course you know what time to set it to, don't you? But because you know he's at heart a very good sort, in fact, the very best of sorts, you indulge Watson with an explanation.
I've already got a collection of precise times I have carefully observed, you say, so I just need to identify the pattern that binds them. Then, the time I need will be the missing one in that arrangement. I see, says Watson, although you both know he probably doesn't. So, what time is that?
You prepared to set the hands on the clock face of the booby-trapped contraption to the required time. Set the hands on the clock face, turn to 86. Setting the hands. Watson seems a little nervous as you reach forward to set the clock hands to the time you've confidently determined is the setting that will disarm the trap. And you've got 4 options, I guess. I do not want to look at the multiple choice of them because that feels like cheating. So we just have 4 options to set the clock hands to. So we'll go to 86 once we're done. 86 once we're done. Page 86. Page 86 is what we need to turn to set the face. But for now, we need to find out what binds all of these times that we've taken, and what pattern there is, and then what one is missing from them. So if I have not made any mistakes, which is a pretty feckin' big if, I'm pretty sure that I will have made some mistake. We've got 11:51, which we originally thought was 11:41, but we got the carriage clock was 10 minutes late. Carriage clock. We have 2:15. I do not remember where we got that number from. Does anybody remember? Is anybody from here from last week and remembers where the hell we got the second time from? 2:15. Then we have 7:03, which was the time that guy had dinner. And then we've got 9:27, which was the puzzle from page 74. Puzzle about hands. But there's 5 boxes here, so we've probably missed a time somewhere, somehow. Somewhere, somehow. I'm eating pasta with chicken and sun-dried tomatoes. Oh, yum. Bit of sour cream and spinach leaves added at the end. Nom, that sounds good. So, the time that determines which one is missing from the pattern. I have no idea. I guess I'll just start mucking around and seeing what I come up with. 9:27. Well, 9 is a multiple of 27. I mean, strike that, reverse it. 9 goes into 27 3 times. But 7 isn't a multiple of 3, and 2 isn't a multiple of 15, and 11:51. 9 to 7. 9 is equal to 2 plus 7, but 7 is not equal to 0 plus 3. 9:27. 9:27. If you add all those together, you get 18. If you add these together, you get 10. If you add those together, you get 17. If you add these together, you get 62. It doesn't tell me shit. 11 is prime, 2 is prime, 7 is prime, 9 is prime. 51 is not prime, 15 is not prime. These are all multiples of 3. So we do have a pattern emerged that it's prime and then mult of 3. But it's not like there's a single number that hasn't been used that answers that. Because it could be 3, could be 5. That's just 3 or 5 really. That's already too many to want. And then on this side obviously it can be 0, 6, 9, 12. So many numbers. Nine is not a prime, you are correct. I feel bothered by the fact that they've given us 5 spaces and I've only needed to use 4 times. I feel like we've missed a time somehow. I also feel really bothered by the fact that I don't remember where the fuck we got a 2:15 from. 11:51. I want to double check that carriage clock, I think. Alright, let's try to 104. Let's try and work out where the hell we got times from. Kew Bridge 6:18. Tower. Even number of crows or odd number of crows, 9 or 11. Did we check both options there? It's good to know you're on top of your game. Good show, sir. That's when he started giving us sass if we got that one wrong, right? What were the times again? The times that I have down in my notebook are 11:51, which was originally at 11:41 from the carriage clock, I'm pretty sure. And then the carriage clock we later found out was running 10 minutes slow, so it's 11:51, not 11:41. Then I have 2:15. I don't remember where we got that one from. It was last week. Then we got 7:03, which was the dinner time that we were told by the time that the guy was abducted from his table and taken downstairs. And then we got 9:27, which was the answer to a puzzle that was like when are the hour and minute hands directly opposite each other, and then 2 hours before that. So, if anybody can see a pattern in those numbers, you are welcome to give me ideas. Watson's Crows, 84. Unexpected opening. We dithered by the gates, go through the gates, look for an alternative entrance. We never tried to look for an alternative entrance. I'm curious to see what happens if you tried to do that. A false start. Watson looks a little bemused as you walk away from the obvious entrance, but he follows anyway. The outer wall seems to stretch on forever, and there appears to be no other way in. All of a sudden you spot another gate. Your instincts were correct. Unfortunately, your joy's short-lived, as it's clear you've looped back around to the main entrance. It's very unlike you to make such a mistake. Suddenly you're aware of a presence behind you, but it's too late for you to react. It's your second mistake in as many minutes. Everything goes black. Turn to 111. If you tried to find a different way in, you just get knocked out. You awake to find yourself in what appears to be an office. A clock on the desk indicates you've been out for hours. Watson, still unconscious, is lying on the floor next to you. There are 4 doors leading off from this room, but unsurprisingly you find them all locked. Someone doesn't want you to leave. You could look for clues, but the cosh to the head has left you feeling dazed and not quite yourself. Turn to 67, you wake up and you're done. That's... If you tried to find a different way in, that's the end. Which doesn't seem very Moriarty of him. I don't know why they wouldn't just make it you go all the way back around to the start and now go in through the gates like you would have done anyway. You just kind of wasted your time instead. Alright, we go in through the gates. We approached the door, 112. Cart full of coal. We get trapped inside. Is that blood? The sum of the atomic numbers are even, the sum of the atomic numbers are odd. Fuck, does anybody remember whether it was odd or even? I can't remember. It was basically the shit that's on the floor that we were like, oh my god, is it blood? And it was hot chocolate. Good heavens, it is blood. Check again, turn to 36. It was not, so it didn't tell us, it didn't send us in the wrong direction. We just admonished Watson for getting it wrong. Turned out, nope, it was hot chocolate. You die, you die, you die. The main office. Okay, here's the main office. does the picture does have the carriage clock at 11:41. So this is where we got the 11:41.
Well, that's a relief at least. If you're loving these, you'll be pleased to hear there's one more part. And if you're hating them, you'll be pleased to hear there's only one more part. See you next time.